Hello, everyone. For those of you in the payment track yesterday, yes, it's me again. For everyone else, my name is Mike Carlo. I am CEO and founder of a company called Xanderpay. We are headquartered here in Los Angeles, which has, over the years, become a bit of a hub for innovation as technology and entertainment have merged. It's also, as you can see, pretty nice in the winter here. So we really do hope that you've enjoyed your time in Los Angeles. It's really a little stressful for a home conference, and as those Angelinos in the room know, when you have visitors coming in, you always worry about the weather. So I've been stress watching weather for weeks, and I'm glad the rain is going to start tomorrow after you leave. And as Kurt had said, welcome to the most bizarre place on earth, and I freely admit that this is the only place I have ever fit in. So what I'd like to talk to you about today is our solution, which we call a virtual bank transfer guarantee. I'm going to discuss generally what the situation is today, why we were inspired to initiate this company and this business line, how our solution works, what the benefits are for hotels and OTAs and some of the participants in our pilot, which has just gone live in the past week. So the situation today is when OTAs are paying hotel rooms, a great majority of those transactions are completed with a single-use virtual credit card. The hotels process the VCCs as they would any other credit card transaction. Given that the payment strategy of hotels is largely done at the property, there really isn't much focus on the costs associated with the payment processing at a brand level. So the hotels are going to incur comparable credit card processing fees for any transaction that walks in the door. It's generally 2 to 3% depending on the card type and the geography. Now, as many of you know, but maybe not all of you do, with a virtual credit card that is issued on behalf of the OTA that is paying to the hotel, the way that the economics of that work is there's generally a rebate from the card issuer back to the OTA. So if you as a hotel are paying 3% for that transaction, 1 or 2% of that 3% goes back to the OTA as a revenue share. And we found that hotels really don't like that when they find out. So what inspired us to address this? The graphic on the left depicts the concept of the payment manager, which has been designed by one of the HEDNA working groups, the Open Payment Alliance, intending to decouple payment information from the booking flow to allow for flexibility of payments. The graphic on the left is from the Open Payment Alliance presentation, and we're actually using working with one of the first payment managers. We're working on with the Voxel group on their Bavel platform and their payment manager. The chart on the right tries to demonstrate the cost benefit of different risk mitigation approaches. There are many use cases for virtual credit cards. The value of virtual credit cards and credit cards in general is greatest for the anonymous transactions. The anonymous unknown bookings referenced on the right-hand side of this graph. You don't know that you're going to get paid, so you need a credit card in order to make sure that you aren't left with an unpaid room. But cards are expensive, but they're designed to mitigate the risk of non-payment. For these cost reasons, we argue that they're really not an optimal situation for known contractual relationships, given the risk profile of those transactions. So our business focuses on the left-hand side of the graph, on the left-hand side of this graph, which with the bank transfers bulb. So our solution is very simple. We are leveraging the power of the payment manager conceptualized by the Open Payment Alliance to allow for an alternate form of payment. Hotels are happy because they receive money into their local bank account in the currency that they're expecting, often faster than card-based payments. I mean, Brazil, for instance, if you're paying a Brazilian hotel with a virtual credit card, it's going to be 30 days before they collect their funds or receive their funds. Our solution is much faster. I think the most important thing to keep in mind if you're a hotelier is Because of the high average transaction value for hotels, the savings can be very significant. I mean, if you think about a €1,000 hotel stay, the processing cost for a virtual credit card is 20 to 30 euros. We charge a flat fee that will be a very small fraction of that amount. Now, I want to be very clear, this last bullet point, this is a very narrowly focused solution. We are only saying that our solution works well in situations where you have a contractual relationship among two parties and you trust each other. In our pilot, we are currently live in countries that accept GBP, USD, and Euro as local payment. As I mentioned, we did go live last week with eDreams Odigio, which is a large European OTA, and a few independent hotels. When our pilot is done with the payment partners that we have identified, we will have global reach into all of these countries, and it's very important for us to have localized payment partners so that the recipient of the payment, the hotel, is not charged any sort of cross-border wire transfer fees. So, let's see, there we go. So as far as the benefits go, as I mentioned, for the hotels, this is a much more cost-effective payment solution for third parties where you have a contractual relationship. Working with Voxel and others in the industry, we believe that there is an ease of integration which didn't exist years ago, and we thank the Open Payment Alliance for that. And there's a reduction in breakage. Breakage is the amount that's available on a virtual credit card that isn't ever processed. And for some hotels, breakage can actually exceed the cost of interchange or payment processing. For OTAs, one of our partners, FastPay Hotels, is already working to leverage these cost savings with their clients and improve terms and make everybody better off at the end. So our participants thus far are on this list. We're looking at a number of independent hotels in exotic locations as the phase 2 of our pilot. And with that, I really do appreciate everyone and their hospitality to my chairman of the board last night, and hope you enjoy the rest of your time in Los Angeles. Thank you.